Here to help me understand what this means for the White House and beyond, Senator Richard Blumenthal, Democrat of Connecticut, a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee. One of the most sort of notable things about McGahn, all other things aside for the moment, is that there was reporting that he stood in the way of the president firing Mueller. Back in January 25th, that Trump ordered Mueller fired, but backed off when basically McGahn threatened to quit. Between that and Sessions' likely imminent dismissal, what do you think the White House is up to?
First, McGahn has been perceived in the Congress as a voice of reason and respect for the norms in a White House that has very little of either. He was a calming and moderating influence, willing to stand up to the president and say no in a White House that has very few people willing to do it. And he said no to firing Mueller. Now, he did go to Jeff Sessions and try to persuade him to recuse himself, which Sessions refused to do. He basically had no choice. McGahn accepted that refusal, but the president never has. He wants a Roy Cohn, someone who will have his back and protect him and serve his interests. So I think McGahn's leaving will possibly embolden the president to try to fire Sessions again, even though it would provoke a firestorm on Capitol Hill.
You really think it would? Firing Sessions would?
Take what Mitch McConnell said just in the last 48 hours, that he thinks Sessions should stay. And I think Lindsey Graham was right, not recently when he said that the president would be better served by another attorney general, but a year ago when he said that it would be holy hell to pay if Sessions were fired. I think the president would have a lot of difficulty trying to confirm someone to replace Jeff Sessions.
You know, after the story broke that McGahn had spent all that time with Mueller, the president tweeted this. Failing New York Times wrote a fake piece today implying that because White House counsel Don McGahn was giving hours of testimony to special counsel, he must be a John Dean type rat. But I allowed him all others to testify. I didn't have to. I have nothing to hide. There is the Dean precedent, who was Nixon's White House counsel, who also did time in prison. When you think about what it is McGahn knows.
Nobody knows all of what he knows, but he's been at the president's right arm as the president has committed some acts that very plausibly amount to obstruction of justice. There's a credible case of obstruction of justice right now against the President of the United States. And Don McGahn has been at his side, at his right arm, through all of it. He knows the motive. He knows what the president said when he wanted to fire Comey initially. He helped devise a pretext for firing Comey with Rod Rosenstein. And he has been, in a sense, a witness to potential obstruction of justice by the President of the United States. He has also been, by the way, the chief architect and strategist in the administration's remaking the federal courts in the image of the far-right extreme ideology of this Republican Party.
He's been spending all this time on Capitol Hill working on Kavanaugh, the Kavanaugh nomination in preparation for the hearings. Where do you stand in terms of preparation for those hearings?
I am actively preparing as recently as minutes before coming to talk to you. And I think that we are greatly handicapped in preparing because this administration is concealing documents that are essential to our providing real advice and consent. They've disclosed only about 6% of the documents relating to Kavanaugh's service in the Bush White House. Only 6%. And that is as a result of screening, by the way, by a lawyer who is Don McGahn's personal lawyer, Bill Burke. The interconnections here are staggering.
So it's Don McGahn and Steve Bannon share a lawyer, this individual.
Exactly.
And am I right? He's the one deciding what all of us as Americans get to see of the record of a man who served in public office in the White House.
What all of us as Americans get to see and what we as senators get to see. He is denying us access to papers in the national archives that are the property of the American people.
But how's that work? I mean, why can he do that?
Because the Republican leadership in the United States Senate has made a rule that, in effect, they will delegate to him
I see.
that assignment. Now, we have challenged it, We have argued against it. And frankly, when these hearings begin on Tuesday, we're going to renew our effort to have all of those documents come to the American people as well as to us.
I'd like to see him. Senator Richard Blumenthal, thanks for sharing your time.
Thank you, Chris.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.